Is there a format or pattern or?
You know what? I don't watch the show.
That's so baller. It's like, I don't even care, man. I don't even care. I
I
don't laugh at my own jokes. You know? How about that?
Oh, that's one thing. I will stop and laugh at my jokes on stage.
Just so the audience knows, like, this is the part where you're supposed to jump in.
I cut a few jokes at Orlando Saturday.
Yeah, man, me too.
That hit pretty good.
Are we on? Are we recording?
Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
it? Oh man, this is cool. I can't tell if these are props or your real life. Like it's like if like the lava lamp was there before the show, if that's just to build ambiance in the studio.
That it was set up here. Like the beginning of the show. Like you could look back at the beginning and it was just terrible.
Yeah.
And it was sitting like in the background at first.
Yeah.
And since it got moved to over there, I don't think it's been turned off in months.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you touch it, you will get third-degree burns.
Right, that will burn. Yeah. If your food from Grubhub arrives cold, just hold it near the lamp.
Yeah.
And the lava lamp will just warm
You
it
don't
right
even
back
have to
up.
touch the lava lamp with it. Just put it on the table next to it.
Oh man, yeah, that Orlando Jones thing. That was fun.
That was I had a great time.
I had a
doing
good
that.
time.
I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I was just glad we. When did you start back doing comedy again?
So the first time I ever did comedy, I was 18. It was like I was waiting till I was a legal adult.
Yeah.
I tried to do it in high school, and they canceled the talent show because of lack of interest, and that was probably a good thing because I was like, school sucks. Like that was like my best joke or something.
Yeah.
So the first time ever was at UNCW, and they had something called the Last Seahawk Standing, and it was the first year they were ever doing it, and I'd always wanted to try.
It was just a strictly stand-up thing?
Yeah, strictly stand-up, and it was just like an amateur competition. And I was like, if I'm ever going to try it, this would be it. Just like a little 5-minute, just give it your go. So I practiced for like months. And for like a 5-minute thing, and I didn't bomb. I didn't kill, but I didn't bomb. And I was like, okay, I treaded water. And
that's kind of how my first time was. It was at the very. I was at the very end of the list. It was late at night. Everyone was buzzed, and I was like,
perfect.
It didn't go bad, but it didn't go good.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I did it once a year throughout college, and I won it my senior year, and then I just went and worked a regular shirt and tie job because I thought that's how life had to work. And then the Nut Street Comedy Room opened up, the first comedy club in Wilmington, and started going there with some buddies and just kind of snowballed from there. So I've been doing it technically from 18, so 18 years just about for fun. Okay. 10 of those professional. I just hit my 10-year anniversary of quitting my job and trying to give it a stab. That's how it's a miracle. It should have been over, and I gave myself 1 year. I was like, I'm going to do this for 1 year, and if nothing happens, I'll just go back. But I gotta give it a stab. So I didn't have any kids yet, and I didn't have a ton of, things under my belt. So went and gave it a shot, and here we are, miracles and prayers later. And it could end tomorrow. It could end tomorrow. All you can be grateful for is just what you got. So.
That's why I'm picking a good time if I want to do it.
Yeah.
It needs to be at I don't want to go in blind and be like, oh, well, that was a mistake.
Yeah, I started just gathering footage. I started trying to make a website. I just tried to do as much as I could while still working my job.
Yeah.
And then
that's pretty much what I'm
kind of putting together
now.
like a leaving bomb, a leaving grenade. And as soon as I quit, I just kind of ran as fast as I could. And, a lot of luck, a lot of work, a lot of prayer. And you can't knock anyone for trying. I mean,
yeah, that's the biggest thing.
There are guys that are braver than me down at Nut Street and Dead Crow who are doing more than I am. They move out to LA, or they move to Tennessee, or they go to New York or Boston or something like that. Like I was never brave enough to do that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet. Like I haven't even been doing it for 2 years yet.
Yeah, I have such little confidence. I like to set my expectations low, so I don't disappoint myself.
The same way.
And I still have to work, 5 other jobs to make it possible. I'm still not even full time yet. I work for a magic company, part time.
But it all helps stand up.
Yeah, it's all performance, and it's flexible. And then when the pandemic hit, I'm driving Uber now. I'm doing Grubhub. I'm donating plasma. You can see the heroin marks here, and
Well, in comedy, it's like, you know, you just brush it off.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. So 2 years.
yeah, it'll be 2 years in July when I started comedy.
Nice.
Which I've been threatening to do it forever, and I've never been to. I've loved comedy my whole life. Did drama and theater growing up and stuff. So I mean, getting on stage like wasn't the problem.
Right.
But yeah, finally did it. Googled Wilmington open mic.
Yeah.
And just went. I started at the right time, I guess.
I love how you said threatened. Like, I'll do it. Don't make me.
Yeah.
I will. It's like if you just have a bad day at work or something, or like, no, all right, that's it. I'm committing suicide by comedy. You pushed me over. I threatened you, and I'm doing it. Yeah, I mean, we're so lucky, man. Like,
I was right out of like rehab too. Which
oh
was
yeah,
funny. Yeah,
that seems to work for some people. Ellie Coleman is crushing it right now.
I've known her for I've known Ellie since we were 11, 12 years old.
Get out of here.
I've known Ellie forever.
Yeah, she's a cool cat, man. She's crushing it out there.
Yeah,
for everything from performing to producing. I'm blown away. So she was on my hour at the Orlando Jones thing. So
okay,
but yeah, I've done shows with her at the
Brian Granger.
That's right. I've done shows with her at the Kettle, and I've been with her at what's the joint? The Bar Czar. Yeah, she's a lot of fun to perform with. She's very nice.
Yeah, then we've done all the same places, but just on different shows.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's, we're so lucky, man, that like we can Wilmington, the comedy scene here in Wilmington is so, for the most part, pretty friendly.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty cool. It's not as negative. You go to other scenes and like it's
that's what I've
very
heard.
cutthroat, and some of us are shocked, because this is where I started. This is kind of home base for me, and so you get kind of thrown off when you hear about other scenes like cutthroat and you know backstab, and I'm just like, man, I feel lucky and grateful.
And from what I've heard, I was spoiled from starting out at Dead Crow, where you can get 100 people out on an open mic.
Oh yeah.
And other people start with 3 people.
I was gonna say
at a coffee house.
Nightmare open mics are just kind of
which I've done those, but that's like I did get to start at Dead Crow.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, if you put the work in, you can get a decent spot if you get there early enough. I mean, it's work, but it's worth it, man.
That's what I started
knows.
Doing, and because I'll never ever wear shorts on stage.
Oh no, really?
And I just won't do it. And so I remember going out there in like July and August and 100 degrees waiting at 5:30 to get a 10 or 11 spot.
Yeah. You got to get that sweet spot.
Sweating my fucking ass
after
off.
People get in there and they've had a little bit of time to relax and warm up.
About 10 to 20 maybe.
Yeah, 10 to 20 is kind of that sweet area. But then if you get too early, people are still coming in and it's unsettled, or
they miss a punchline or something.
If it's after 20, then like they're too tired or people leave and you're like,
because a lot of the times they come in for one specific person.
Right.
And then once they're done, they leave.
Yeah.
And then that's like a huge chunk leaves. It's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I was working 65 hours at my old job before quitting, and to get to open mic, I would just have to wear my shirt and tie down there. And one of the hosts was like, "Oh, here comes Chick-fil-A. All right, come on in here." That's kind of like took it in stride, and
because that's one thing I always keep telling myself. Like, nobody fucking told me that this was going to be easy.
Yeah,
nobody told me that.
No, unless you're a genius, and that's just not most people. So, it's and it hurts. Like, bombing hurts.
Yeah.
It stings really bad. It's a whole room of people not liking you at the same time.
But it's going to happen if you do it long enough. It's going to. It's kind of like if you ride a motorcycle. Like, it's not if you lay it down. It's when you're going to lay that bike down, because you're going to fall on it.
Yeah. Once I had my first kid, I sold my bike. I was like, I'm in the quit while you're ahead category. And I'd already taken one spill on it. It was minor, but it was one where I was trapped under, and I had to like have a pedestrian pick it up because this is just embarrassing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like bombing hurts. It's necessary, and it's nice to have such a friendly group of people be able to laugh it off with you. Like, I love it when people bomb just because they're my friends, and I know that we can all have a laugh about it.
I love to watch people bomb.
Granger will watch me bomb and just have a loud cackling laugh about it. Lou
Yeah.
is just, and you can return the love, and it's just like, it's like you're falling into a trust pile, like
I've
I'm
never
falling,
really
but I'm
seen
caught by
Granger
my friends. What now?
I've never really seen Granger bomb.
Oh no, I meant me bombing.
Oh no, I was doing that, but I was just saying I don't think I've ever seen Granger bomb.
Brian Granger doesn't bomb.
No, I mean I haven't been around that long, but yeah, I've never seen him. Too bad.
No, he's a 99% hitter. He might have
Yeah.
a slow night one time a year, just trying out new stuff like the rest of us. But no, he's pretty much on fire all the time. He's the only 2-time winner, I think, of Port City
Yep.
Stop Comics. So
Exactly.
that's all you really need to know.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, how long has it been going on? 13 years, 14 years.
Yeah, since I think 2008. So I think that was the first one. So yeah, that sounds about right.
And
But,
so yeah, that's hard to do.
and it's funny because like when you bomb, people don't feel sorry for you. It's like
No.
you asked for this, you jerk. Like you
Yep.
signed up and you're wasting our time. How dare you?
Yeah, we could.
And you're like, yeah, I'm
literally-
sorry.
We could literally be anywhere else.
Oh man.
That's like I have one. It's like the first thing you do out of quarantine is go to a fucking comedy club. And I mean, for performers, it's
Yeah,
different. But
yeah.
for audience members, it's like really
I
out of all the places.
this is
Really?
this is to me. I don't get.
Thank you.
I don't get tough folks. Like, why do you go to a con? I get like if you're at a corporate show and like they hired a comedian, like you have to be here. But like
Yeah.
people who go out of their way to go to a comedy show and just kind of like do this, like I'm more. You've experienced there are hot crowds and there are cold crowds.
Yeah.
Like the hot crowds like want you to succeed and they're pushing for you, and then the cold crowds are just kind of like make me laugh. Like what do you got?
Right.
You better be good. And sometimes they're mixed in. And it's so hard not to focus on the one guy that's not laughing or moving.
It is. I know, and he's usually like you just can't stop. Once you see him, you can't stop.
You can't unsee
looking.
it,
Yeah,
no.
it's like fuck.
Sit in the back where it's dark. All right,
Yeah.
But that's where all the comics are. They're all laughing it up back there. So I can't wait for it to come back, man. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to still putting on shows and someone big coming in wanting to do a little pop-up show before their thing, and they can whatever.
let me tell you, man, I'm blown away by you and Ellie and Tim Griffin, you kind of younger guns, producing these shows, because shows aren't easy to produce. I don't know how you're doing it. Like I'm so impressed. Every time I get on Instagram or Facebook, there's just a new bar having comedy, and I don't know if it's I think it's a combination of your hustle and also I think
I've
bars
lived here my whole life.
yeah, you probably got
Ellie's
connections.
the same way.
Yeah. You probably know people in the right places, but also I just think there's another sort of part of me that's like, I bet you bars are just hungry for people and for things to happen. Like, yeah, we'll do comedy. Yeah, come on out, please. Like
They just want to sell alcohol.
yeah. So
And that's how I got the VFW. They wanted a younger crowd and to come buy alcohol, and the drinks are cheap, and they got a fucking taco truck in the parking lot every Friday.
now let me ask you, how many does that VFW seat?
200.
200. I do a VFW that sits about 65. I do this. I have this tiny VFW out in like Southport, Boiling Springs.
Yeah.
That just contacted me. I think through Lou Morgani and Port City Comedy or someone, maybe it was Anthony Corvino. But I was like, hey, we're just looking for something on like a Tuesday night once a quarter, and we just need it on the cleaner side. And I was like, I got you.
See, we can go as hard as we want. We got lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Veteran.
got-
You
we
would
got
think
lucky.
veterans are down for the unfiltered and offensive,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
that's what I put it out as. And,
Yeah.
I even put on like a few concerts afterwards, like
Yeah.
music that you wouldn't think they would like, but they were like, we hear country every night. Thank you for
Right.
mixing it up a little bit.
yeah. As long as there's just proper expectations, I don't think there's. I think all kinds of comedy can be funny.
Yeah.
I'm doing I do clean comedy, but I love roasts. I love roasts because it's a chance to change gears and to do something different than what you're doing. So I'm excited. Ellie got me on a roast coming up, and
I saw that.
Used to love roasting other comics. We used to hold roasts at Dead Crow, and back when it was Nut Street, my bachelor party was me getting roasted by my comedian friends. It was so much fun, you know.
There are a lot of sensitive comics here, though. Too. I know. I'm not going to name any names, but I know there's some of them that couldn't participate.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, proper expectations. You're going to go in there knowing you're probably going to get your feelings hurt. You know, it's not going to feel great, but you can dish it out, and it just takes a little bit of thick skin. I used to work in customer service, so my skin is pretty thick.
I've done construction and stuff, and, like, I've pretty much calloused up.
Yeah, and I just, you know, as long as people just know, then don't go to a roast, you know. And I get it. I applaud people for knowing their limits and expectations. You're right. Yeah. I know a comic is very funny.
Maybe beforehand be like, hey, don't bring up this topic.
Yeah, maybe.
But anything else is cool.
I've said before, like, hey, just you can make fun of me. Just you can make fun of my wife. We're adults. Just leave my kids out of it, you know.
Right.
Like, and or you can, but like don't make it, you know, extremely horrible. Save that for me. Like I can handle it, you know. But yeah, and that's like the only rule I have. Like, you can do anything else.
I think the worst thing that I ever did was someone got a DUI. It's like and I was like, look who's going to live with grandma. And I think that was like the worst one I've ever said.
And I just, you know. I remember, you know, Tyler Dees.
Yeah.
Tyler Dees cracks me up. He makes me laugh all the time. And we were I think I was watching a roast because I love watching him too. Mm-hmm. I was watching a roast, and he was going hard, man. Like he was really giving it to the other comics. And some of the times after the joke, they would go like, "Ooh," and he'd be like, "It's a roast." Like he'd be like, "You're supposed to do this. I don't know why you're surprised." You know?
I love it because I know the fucked up shit about me. Like it's funny to me.
Yeah.
Because like I know I put myself out there every week. Like if I was worried about what people were gonna say or think, I wouldn't do it.
And look, there's a comic who does very well. He's very funny, and he's a decent guy, and he won't take part in the roast because he's like, I just don't think it'd be fair. I think I'd be attacked, and I just, you know, I don't know how much joke they would be versus how much they really feel. And I was like, I get it. Like, and that, know your limits. Don't go into it, and then, you know, like I applaud you for knowing your boundaries. Like I wouldn't knock you for that, you know,
because then things get said that you can't unsay, and then
and
there's always that, like, yeah, you're going to be friends, but it's like there's always that thing in the back of your mind that's like, yeah, you said that.
Well, you know what, man? Like that, the beautiful thing about roasts is if you watch them at the end of the part where you make fun of people and tear them apart, you really tell, hey, I actually love you. This is all in jest. Right. You know, I would take a bullet for you, and at every roast I've ever been a part of, that's what it is.
Because I wouldn't do a roast with someone that I didn't like.
I really didn't like.
You know?
Yeah, man. I wouldn't want to give him the hot seat. Because
I couldn't stand to be with him for an hour or two. I couldn't stand to be around him.
And that's the thing, is I love everyone. Like I've got, and I would even start off like before the show, like, hey, I love you. Like, you know, I have.
But
now I'm going to tear you apart with things I've been waiting to say for years. No. And it's fun though. This is a roast of Wrightsville Beach, which will be cool because you don't have to do an actual person. But I don't, you know, I'm nervous because you're right. People are more sensitive today than they have been in the past, so I'm a little wary. But
I just know what topics to stay away from.
Oh yeah,
or what things
at the Wrightsville Beach roast. Well, I'm all ears.
In general,
yeah,
you know, just like certain stuff that I know is, you know, a little touchy.
Yeah. Look,
because I don't want to divide a crowd or make anyone feel bad. That's the last thing I want to do.
You don't want to divide a crowd. Well,
genuinely feel bad. I don't want to do that.
You don't want to burn bridges. You know,
right? Yeah, I want to work with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do enjoy. Like you said, this is a good comedy community.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
We all put each other on each other's shows, and it's not a bad competitive thing. It's, you know, we all push each other to do better. Yeah,
man. Gosh, someone who I could say a million things about a lot of people. I've been getting to perform with Feliz Nadeau recently, quite a lot.
She came to the VFW show a few weeks back, and she did really good.
So much fun. She's so much fun to perform with. Rich Nielsen. Yeah, I just it's great, man. I feel very, very fortunate indeed. And I can't wait for the club to come back. And
I got Matt Milner on the show with you.
Hilarious.
May 20th.
Hilarious.
And Brian Granger.
Good news, guys. Definitely.
And a guy from New York that someone suggested to me that'll be here for like a weekend or something.
Yeah.
And is there one more? I think there's one or two more.
Yeah.
But I'll put the flyer up here in about a week or two.
Nice. So the show's been going well so far?
Yeah. There's been, a couple flops, but it comes with it.
To be expected.
I don't trip on those, and then I don't get too high on the shows that do well.
It's hard, man, because oh man, not that I would know, but doing a good show is such a high, and doing terribly, it'll ruin your week. And for me, when I don't do well, I'm like, I got to get on stage as quickly as possible and fix, because I'm not fixed until I do well again.
I feel the same way.
And I'm just like, what am I doing?
There was a couple of times where it was like 2-3 shows in a row where it was like mediocre to mediocre bad. And I was like, when's the next show I can get on? Like, I got I got to fix this immediately.
My old chum Mike Santo, we used to say, is this comic I used to perform with a long time ago. He would say, I'm always only 3 bombs away from quitting comedy. Like, I think 3 just real bad ones in a row would just end me. And I'm just like, yeah, it's tough, man. It's hard. And it was, I was doing, over COVID, it was a nightmare. I was doing virtual shows, which helped you feel kind of normal.
I hated,
because you were just with other comics.
Doing that.
But I would do some where you just try your best, and to me, I would rather do a virtual show than a social distance show, because I would do social distance shows, and those were worse for me. Those were nightmares.
Because there's no
you're talking about 20 people in an auditorium that sits 100, or 65, weird. And I was doing these gigs where in a gym or something where they're so spread out.
Yeah.
And it's and the laughter just disappears into the ether. Now,
you can't get a good groove or nothing.
No, and I'm just not funny enough for that. Now, I know that there are some people who are genius funny who could probably knock that out of the park, but I need all the help I can get. I'm that pathetic. I'm like, I need all. It's like people who need to have certain sleep conditions. Like, I gotta have a cold room, I gotta have a thick blanket, I gotta have 3 pillows, turn the fan on. With comedy, I try to control as much as I can, but there's so much about it that's just unpredictable.
But Saturday, the crowd was amazing.
These crowds have been fire, and the best. And I started doubting myself. I was like, have I just lost my mojo? Like, what's going on? And then Brewer's Kettle. I went and did Ellie's Room, and it was packed to the 9. And you feel guilty because you're like, this is gonna make some people feel upset that there's this many people. But at the same time, I need this to live. This is oxygen for me. I remember walking out of there feeling like breath had been in my lungs.
Because it does make you feel like shit.
It makes you feel
don't
terrible.
Do it for a while.
At any job, when you have a bad day at work, you screwed something up. Like, you just feel like you're not a good human being. You're not doing good at the job you're hired to do. So you're letting people down. So
yeah, because that's why they picked you. I do feel that way when I'm on someone else's show. When I do bad, I kind of want to go up to them and be like, "Sorry, man."
Oh, I have. A room. I won't name names or whatever. There was a room recently, and it was a little more spread out than usual. But I should have done better.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed in myself, and I just went to the guy. Or girl, who knows? And I was like, hey, I just want to say I'm sorry that was mediocre at best. That wasn't, my finest hour. And there's just so much love in this group. Of course they were like, you're fine. That was okay. I'm not gonna blacklist you or something. Like, it's no big deal.
Because the people that put on shows do it also.
Yeah.
So they get it.
Everyone, and that's when a bomb is healthy. A bomb can take you off your high horse when maybe you're operating in the clouds too much. Like you're not Brian Regan. You're not a Chris Rock. Like,
right.
Once you take it down a notch and remember you're just like everyone else, you know.
That's how I look at it. It's like, you know, none of us are, you know, getting any fucking development deals.
Yeah. Well, and it allows you to be happy and excited when someone does well.
Yeah.
You know. So
because anybody could kill on any fucking night. Because we're all funny. I mean,
we're all naturally funny people, you know. And there, you know, in other scenes, there's just so much jealousy and envy. And whenever people do well in our scene, I see nothing but cheers and and people working together who, you know, who are different, and I think that's good, you know.
Yeah, that's why I try to get as different of kind of personalities on every show. So you get, if you didn't like this type of comedy, well, you'll definitely like this type
an
of comedy. An
eclectic blend, if you will. Yeah, I used, before COVID, I would produce a show once a quarter, and we would raise money for the domestic violence shelter. And
did anybody go there with the jokes?
Yeah, no. I mean, did
anybody go there with, like, you know, going home and beating your wife joke?
It's a clean show, so
okay.
So probably not. So the expectations are set,
like,
and
like you can't go in there, but like, if this show doesn't go good, I'm gonna beat the shit out of somebody.
Right. Well, it's funny. We had we formed a good relationship with a recovery house, actually, a recovery house ministry, and they started bringing a lot of their recovering addicts. And one of the comedians I brought in was a recovering addict. And so, like, we were nervous that his drug humor was going to offend those in recovery, but it hit harder. They were like, "We get it." Yeah. So it worked out real well. And, like, you know, I like that different shows have different purposes. Like, and you know, we all still get along. I mean, I'm a pro-life guy, but, you know, guys in the group do pro-choice shows to raise money for, like, Planned Parenthood, and you know, we all still love each other, and we, you know, what matters at the end of the day is that we're all comedians trying to make people laugh.
I did a support the troop show, even though I don't agree with everything we're doing over there.
I did a Democrat fundraiser. You know, I'm not a Democrat, but I did a Democrat fundraiser for a Democrat candidate, and I just crapped on the Republican governor at the time. Like they hired me. Like, I'm gonna do my job, you know. So they're not here for my opinion.
Everybody wants to get pig fun at.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is, like, if that's the real work right there. So if you can do it in a way that makes everyone laugh, you know, people don't mind you picking on them.
You can get away with anything as long as it's funny.
But that is hard. That's much harder to do.
Yeah.
Like, and you're walking a fine line. And the person who's doing that the most amazingly right now is probably Mark Norman. If you ever watch Mark Norman, who can walk that tightrope of hilarious and also poke, you know. It's just and I'm just jealous. I'm like, if I did that, I'd be ended.
Because he's not threatening.
No, yeah.
That's why.
And people know that he loves them, and that he's just joking around, and he's not trying to hurt or change anything. You know,
right.
he's just making jokes.
He's
comedy.
It's just a goof.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
And if I tried, I could. I'm not not funny enough to do that. I'm not smart enough. I would so get canceled so quickly. I would I would just so step over what I was supposed to do, and
maybe. Well, I don't know, because I don't know.
I'm just not that good. It takes a lot of skill and talent.
I got a lot of street cred, if you will, because it'd be hard, because, like, someone has come out and tried to call me a racist on like social media, and a few of the friends I grew up with were like, wait a minute, and they were, you know, a few black guys, they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't.
So luckily, you know, I have good friends that'll back me up. You know, they know I'm not fucking like that.
And that's, you know, it's the thing with social media. Like, when you're not seeing someone face to face, like,
it's
you can't.
Easy to.
It's hard to see that person's heart. And I know that's a real hippie thing to say, but, like, when you look into someone's eyes, you know how they really feel about you. And
that's like
when you're behind a screen and that person's just a picture, you know, or just things can so easily get misread. And I hate anyone who's ever tried to like start on Facebook. Number one, I just don't want to get involved a lot. Number two, I'm just like, hey, just private message me, or let's just go grab a coffee or a sandwich or a drink or something like that, and let's talk about this, like, together.
Luckily I have friends who, like, they wake up, they live for Facebook battles. They just like they'll see someone on my like comments and they're just like yes. So I don't have to. I have lunatics and I have friends that are lunatics that'll do it.
That's beautiful. For me. I had a friend who did that for me, but he died, so I don't have him around anymore. A comic at the club one time like came at me or something like that. And he stepped in to be like, he goes, "You want me to take this guy down?" I'm like, just ignore it. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Or just delete. Like, I don't. I'd much rather. And the thing is that I don't have time.
I was just about to say that. I don't have time to sit down and really think about and go back and forth. And it's like, first of all, most of the time they're a crazy person. It doesn't even matter if you give them, if you argue against their fact, give them proof, facts, all this, they're going to say, oh, it was fake. So it's like, okay, you're just a crazy person.
Yeah, you're not changing minds on Facebook.
Exactly.
And look, that might happen, 1% of the time or something, but it's not worth it. I know that sounds terrible, but it's not.
I got too much shit going on.
That's the thing is I'm trying to spin
people
12
like
different plates. And that little red number pops up like so-and-so is responsible. I'm just like, now I got to write an essay and I got to think about exact. And if you do your grammar wrong, they're like, your grammar's wrong. You just must be an idiot all day. You're just like, delete. And it's like, you delete. And like, it's just, it doesn't,
you can't win.
Worth it.
I've learned from other people fucking up that the best thing to do is just not say anything.
Just don't get involved.
Just don't even address it.
No.
Because the people that do it, they don't have shit going on. They're bored.
Yeah.
First of all, people are bored. They can't work.
Yeah.
Maybe their political person lost. They're fucking and they just can't wait to be like, well, let me tell you something.
And that's and that's the thing. Some people will dog you for like, well, you should say something. I'm just like, nope, I don't have to say something. And I think it's good to speak up. When you think it's a good idea to speak up, but social media on Facebook, no, I don't think I'm solving. I don't think that's helping. I don't. Or Twitter, like getting involved in that, like if you're doing what you believe passionately about, then you're out there actually doing something, with your hands and with your feet. It's not just typing essays on Facebook.
Social media is the best and the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
And personal relationships, man. Like
technology is like in general is like that. It's the best and the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
Like you said, you have people who know you. I have people who know me to my core and to my soul and know who I am. And so I don't need to go out there and try to prove it because it's just not going to do any good.
I don't have to what's that thing called? Virtue signal and be like, hey, look, I have a black friend. You see him?
Yeah.
Like I don't have to. That's stupid. It's like whatever.
Yeah. I've just seen it go awry, too many times. I've seen so much more failure than success in that, and I just I'd rather go out and do stuff.
Because then, like, the more you dig into it, it's like, oh, they're gonna dig even harder, and you dig harder than anyone, you're gonna find something.
I do stuff with my church. I do stuff in my community. I know who I am, and that's enough for me.
Because I know how like you can find my old criminal record, and like if you dig hard enough, you can find some shit on anybody. So it's like why give anyone?
Everyone is
all they have is time.
Yeah,
to do that.
Yeah. Everyone has skeletons.
So it's
everyone
like, why even go there?
Yeah.
Man. Shit, I'm just focused on shows.
Just memes. Just show me some. Like I told Felice that her memes have gotten me through the pandemic, and it's really true. Funny. And
we'll go back and forth on. She'll share mine. I'll share hers, and
Well, I commend her for. To me, that's brave.
I haven't been able to post as much lately, but I'll cross the line with mine. I don't give a fuck.
I
don't give a fuck.
I have children that I have to feed.
I have my boss on there. I have my parents on there. Like they know me. They don't give a fuck.
I can't.
Shit, they probably said worse boomer stuff than I have.
That's what I'm saying. I tell Felice, I'm like, you're the bravest person I know. I would be so terrified because I'm just so. I'm a people pleaser. Like I want to be liked, and I would just. If you'll talk to me one-on-one, then I'll just shoot you straight. But stuff in stone on Facebook, on the internet, just terrifies me. People's tweets getting read from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, stuff. I'm just like, I don't.
The
I don't,
one thing I've learned is like, once people apologize, it's over.
I don't know, man. People apologize and it doesn't seem to do very much.
No, I'm saying like it's over for them. Like once they apologize, it's like
okay.
they got you.
Yeah, that's and
fuck that. I said it. Yeah,
and here's the thing, man. What's so sad is that I believe in apologies. I think you should apologize. You do something wrong, but now there's no reason to. There's no incentive because
they just want to completely destroy you.
That's the thing is people who apologize. There's no grace or forgiveness or embracement. It's like you're cut off.
You have to keep doing it. You have to keep explaining yourself. And then,
no, you're not. You can't come back. You're done.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what a terrible message to send to anyone. That like, hey, you screw up, it's over. You can't be forgiven. Right. You apologize, tough. That's not going to solve your problem. Like, I'm not giving you grace. Because
I know I don't have, you're not going to dig up tweets where I posted a bunch of fucking swastikas. You're not going to find that. So there's nothing there's nothing you can find. Okay, you might find me smoking pot.
Yeah.
Cool. Everybody knows I smoke pot. So it's like, it's I'm not going to, there's nothing for me to apologize for.
And that's the thing is it's, the people who do that the most, I'm sorry, you have to enjoy a little bit of the justice when you find out that they've deleted a bunch of tweets or now they're getting canceled.
Like was it the Teen Vogue where she was the one who advocated the girl getting fired and then they fired her and it was like
or it was the guy at the baseball game that was like, send me money for free beer, and then he gave the money to charity and they were like, but wait, he said this, and the journalist got fired. I was like, yeah, man, like, jeez Louise, are we really gonna sweep the leg of everyone we meet immediately? It
is weird. People just want to go straight for, they're like, I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
he's not a good person. I'm not buying it.
It's like, there's no way I accept this good deed
because we're just like we watch the news and it's like everyone's out there to fuck you, and it's like, Jesus Christ,
my gosh.
And so it's like the first thing, it's like, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart, and it's like good, but there are a lot of people that are,
and I think that's just a social media thing, man. Because and I'm sure it's a real life thing in other scenes. Again, it just makes me hit my knees, thankful for our scene. I have guys that think nothing like me, but we're friends. We love each other. We put each other on shows. They like me. They accept me, even though I'm different.
Because comedy is comedy. If you're funny, you're funny.
You're funny. You're funny.
That's the one thing I've learned. Like, it doesn't matter if you're trans, whatever. Like, I don't care if you're, a far right Trumper or
comedy's an equalizer, man. It's a beautiful equalizer.
Are you funny?
Yeah,
that's all I care about.
I've seen white comics kill in front of black crowds. I've seen black comics kill in front of white crowds. Yep. Gay, lesbian, Christian, clean, dirty, all colors. Like, it's political stances.
That is one thing that it's like, it does not matter.
Yeah,
I think Bill Burr hit it right on the head. Like you could get out of prison, go do an open mic. You could have come out doing 20 years for killing somebody. Get out doing an open mic, someone could see you, and you know they'd be like, "Oh, bring it up," that you killed someone. Maybe you should wear the suit on stage.
And look, there are.
But other places, there's no way you could get a job, right? If that happened to you.
And there are advantages. Look, there are advantages. There are disadvantages. You can play to your crowd.
Yeah, you're going to be broke for the first 10 years, roughly. When you do it.
Look, if you're in Asheville and you're a far left person, you'll probably do pretty well there if you play to your audience. If you're at a Trump rally or something like that, the right things to say. Like, there's nothing wrong with playing to your crowd. To me, they're the customer. Like. They're I have Bible jokes. I'm not doing my Bible jokes, at least not all. I do them sometimes. I'm not doing a ton of my Bible material at Dead Crow because they probably wouldn't understand some of the references.
Right.
But and I have drunk jokes. I drive Uber. I drive home drunk people.
Oh, I bet you've seen every type of person.
Yeah. And that's just not something that relates, the most with some audience. If I'm doing recovery, I don't know how much I want to do about booze and getting smashed or being addicted. I have a joke about how
I'd probably crush there because I've been to rehab several times and stuff like that. And I know it was weird. The first time I ever went to rehab was before I've been 3 times.
Yeah,
and
3rd time's a charm.
It worked the last time.
There you go.
And,
don't quit. Well, quit, but
I mean, I'm smoking pot and stuff like that, but I'm not, breaking into,
Right.
someone's grandma's house and stealing her
Yeah.
change.
Right.
But yeah, like I went the first time I ever went, they had like a talent show in rehab.
Yeah.
And there was 2 people that did stand up, and I was like, that wasn't good at all. Like I could do better than that.
Yeah, that's how so many people start stand up. That's how I was listening to Amy Schumer's book, and that's how she started. Is she saw another comic who was like the headliner, and I was like, oh, that was only okay. I could do that. Like I could be only okay, And I like it's good. Again, that's why bombing's important. Maybe you're inspiring someone to be like,
Right,
like I
exactly.
could be that terrible. Yeah. So I mean, like, look, funny can be funny anywhere, but there's also advantages. Take advantage, play to the crowd. There's some comics who are like, I'm gonna be me no matter what. Like, screw the crowd. I'm just like,
okay.
I have the complete opposite. And look, I think it's
like
good.
what if your first your first joke doesn't hit and you got to do 20?
Yeah, like,
motherfucker, you better play to the crowd.
I'm all about authenticity and things like that. But again, to me, they paid to be here. They're the customer. You're being led on stage.
Exactly.
Like, you're here to serve them. Like, serve them, not yourself. And you'll do better. Rather than if it's just think about that. You bomb on the first joke. You're like, oh, you're for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you better fucking play to the crowd.
So, like,
or it's gonna be a long 20 minutes.
Yeah. Serve them. Be a servant. So.
Yeah, fucking May 20th at the Sour Barn.
So excited.
Are you doing the next Port City Comedy Jam?
Yes, I signed right up, man.
Which show are you doing?
I'm doing the Saturday. I'm doing the Saturday one.
I'm doing the Friday 8:00 one.
Oh, we were so close, so close. We'll be
this
on the same
thing
show.
Is fucking awesome.
We'll be at the Sour Barn.
I'm having a blast doing it.
Yeah, man. Oh, definitely. Thanks for producing, man. Thanks for
dude. Yeah, man. It's like I said,
continuing to get out there and do it.
It started with just bringing comedians over and talking into 2 cheap microphones at first, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
I hope I was as fun as your other guests. I don't know where I am on the comparison level.
Oh, no,
I probably got really intense and serious and not even as funny.
No, it is good to talk shop with the comic who's been doing it a while.
Again, luck and prayer, man. It's a miracle.
It should not quit no matter what.
It should have failed by now,
Yeah, that's how that's how I look at it now.
Yeah.
Like it's like from what I used to do, it's like this is pretty rad.
Just a complete miracle. It teaches you to be grateful,
Yes, it does.
And just to be thankful for what you have. So, for sure.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming by. I'm looking forward to the
me.
Sour
What a
Barn,
blast. Jokes.
Yeah,
I'll bring actual topics next time. It's just riffing.
But I appreciate it, buddy. I'm looking forward
man.
to the show, man.
Thanks. See you at the show.